a fantastic audience. Welcome all across this great country. How you doing tonight, gang? You know, Bill, we have audiences who are good. And then we have audiences that are great. But this audience in my studio tonight is spectacular. There they are, yeah. Boy, I'll tell you, I can feel the excitement in the air. We're gonna have a good show tonight, aren't we? David Letterman, Arsenio, eat your hearts out, right? We know what's happening here, don't we? This is the program. We're here for a reason. We're not here just to make fools of ourselves. We're here to make America even better. You better believe it. Okay. Now on the program tonight, we have some real freakos. One of them has been on once before. This is her second appearance here. She's a feminist. Her name is Kathie Carmer, and she says we've got to have more women's rights. I say there's enough women's rights. It's time to start fighting for men's rights. I say we men are being treated a little bit raunchy. I say we're not getting the rights we deserve, and I'm forming men's liberation. What do you think? The short end of the stick around here. Now, also on the show tonight, a liberal loudmouth activist, Larry Rice, is here. Oh, yeah. He's debating me on whether minors should be treated as adults when they commit a crime like murder or anything else, and I say they should, right? Larry says we got to have pity on the poor kids and parole them in the custody of their parents. Get out of here. I say if a young kid commits a murder like that kid who stabbed his teacher, he should go on trial and go to the slammer with adults. And now, Bill Bancroft, on your birthday, it's time, I hate to do this to you, but it's time to introduce our first victim on the hot seat.
Well, Wally, here's the voice of flaming feminism and opponent of men's rights, chatty Kathie Carmer.
You may be smiling now, Kathie, but wait till I get through with you, right? What have you got there, Kathie? Oh.
I want you to know that
Hey, hold on a minute. Get this.
Don't.
Women's power. Get out of here.
Wally, I've had that shirt for 14 years. I had that shirt before women even thought about what power was for women.
Listen, I have news for you. You know what you can do with that stupid shirt, don't you? Now, you know what? You feminists have been screaming and screaming about women's rights, the equal rights amendment, all that kind of stuff. I'm sick and tired of talking about women's rights. I say most of you women have too many rights. I say it is about time to form the men's liberation movement. I say it's about time we start fighting for men's rights.
Wally, behind every great...
Hold it, quiet.
Behind every great woman, there could be a man. And George Bush just got lucky.
Oh, come on. Now, let me tell you this.
Is this not true?
You are calling, you know...
How did you get here, Wally? How did you get here?
How did I get here?
Into this world.
I worked my way here, didn't I?
No. Your mama gave you a chance. Your mama gave you a chance.
Don't try to work on me that way.
And a woman raised you, Wally. Remember that. Your success is attributed to your mother.
Oh, God. Now, wait a minute.
Every single
With
one
all
of them.
due respect to my mother, I thank my mother for giving birth to me, but what I am, I got here myself.
I don't think so.
I'm telling you, Kathy, I'm telling you one thing. These feminists, they say they want the Equal Rights Amendment, the new ERA. They don't want the ERA. They want the SRA, the Superior Rights Amendment, don't they?
Yes, that's true.
You women, I know you, Kathy, and ask me if I'm wrong. You don't want to be equal to us. You want to be
Superior to, because we are. Let me cite an example. I read a letter the other day.
I'm surprised you can read, bimbo.
Well, now wait a minute. Now you've got me mad. I read a letter the other day from an engineer at a local aeronautics company here in this area.
Don't make this boring now, Kathy.
I'm going to tell you.
Yes?
On a 2-page letter, there were 27 spelling errors. 27. If a secretary had done that, where would she be?
Probably on the boss's lap.
This guy. That's because she knows how to work her way up. She would be the.
Let me tell you how you women take it. I'm glad you brought that. Let me tell you how you women take advantage of us men. You see, men don't have the privileges that women do. How many women who are working in offices all over America are not qualified for their salaries? They don't do anything but wiggle their derrieres down the hallway.
That's because they're opportunistic and they know how.
And they bat their eyes at the boss and all that kind of thing. And then when he makes
That's why they hired them, because they had a short skirt and a low-cut blouse. Don't lie to me, Wally.
Why do the women dress? Hey, the women dress that way, and they
because if they didn't, they'd be out looking for a job somewhere else.
Oh, come on!
I worked in industry.
Let me tell you, Kathy, these women dress this way and act this way. They wiggle around the office, and then when some guy makes a move on them, they scream sexual harassment. I'm sick and tired of that. I'm sick and tired of women working their way up the ladder by being sex bombs, while us men have to sweat our way up the ladder, right? How do you answer that?
Who is the one that creates a sex bomb? Who is the one that portrays that woman as being a sex bomb? Does she ever have the opportunity to come forward and exercise her rights, or to be able to be a dynamic person in the industry? No, she does not. And every time she gets herself in a position where she has the opportunity to be successful, the chairman of the board shoots her down. So she doesn't even have the opportunity, even though she is educated and probably far superior to the man.
I'm telling you, women have just as many, if not more, opportunities than men. And I'm sick and tired of women going and applying for a job, and they think even if a man is better qualified, she should be hired just because she's a woman. That's wrong, isn't it?
That's not wrong.
There are many women who say, hey, wait a minute, I don't care if I'm not the best qualified. I'm a woman, so I should get the job, and I say that is ridiculous.
I am an extremely successful salesperson, and I have worked in many different industries, primarily in the industrial sales. And I have always had a position that has been traditionally filled, to this day, by men. I have always been hired by these companies, always been hired to meet their equal rights. And I can guarantee you that's a fact. But you go ahead and take it before a labor board, you'll never win, ever. Because these companies will continue to do this until women put a stop to it. And I don't know how they can go even in front of the courts and make any kind of statements to their benefit, because these large corporations always shoot them down. They always have the side.
Will you stop boring us to death here? I ask her one question, and she gives me a commencement address.
But that's because I've been employed. I've been employed for 26 years, Wally. I've worked since I got out of high school, and believe me, I know what female abuse is in the industry.
I'm surprised she hasn't talked her boss to death.
He's the one that gave me that shirt 14 years ago.
We're going to talk about how TV commercials and movies and TV sitcoms are putting us men down. I'll be right back. There we are. Welcome back, Wally George here. We have feminist Kathie Carmer here. You know what, Kathie? There is a new men's rights movement starting in America.
They need it. They need a movement.
Yeah, because you women are trying to take away our rights, and we're not going to stand for it.
Wally,
How many of you guys want to join the men's rights movement?
they wouldn't need a movement if we weren't being successful. I'm glad to see they have to have a movement. We are being successful.
You're being too darn successful, and I'm getting sick and tired of it. Especially, you know, in TV commercials, on films, in TV sitcoms, like that Roseanne, oh, come on. Oh, how many times have you seen commercials where they have the man looking like some nitwit boob, and the woman is always so intellectual? Have you seen that? Yeah. Commercial after commercial, the guy is saying, "Oh, gee, honey, I'm sorry I did that," and she looks so superior as she. And I'm sick and tired. I'm also sick and tired of the situation comedies that are portraying men as
That's
boobs.
what sells the product. Who buys the product? I mean, the people who are running the commercials have finally figured out where they can get their bucks from. So now they're capitalizing on it, and you're ashamed of it. Who's paying for you to be here today?
Hey.
Probably a female commercial.
Oh. You know what? What I'm trying to say is, in practically every situation comedy on the air today, and you see them on the networks every day, the husband is always the guy who is the big, dumb dimwit, who is always screwing things up, and the little housewife always comes to save the situation. Well, I'm sick and tired of that. I say that's an abuse of us men, isn't it?
Most of them are couch potatoes anyway.
You know, the feminist movement, these feminists are always demanding the rights for this, more rights on this, more rights on that, but you don't want us men to have those same rights. You don't like it when I sit here and protest.
You've had these rights all these years. It's about time we start making it equal, or at least sharing some of these responsibilities, or giving credit where credit is due. I'm telling you that these successful men are usually standing behind an extremely successful woman who never gets the recognition.
Well, I'll tell you what, if the woman deserves the recognition, she'll get the recognition, won't she?
Oh, sure. At night under the bed sheet, maybe.
Oh! Now she's getting nasty. What do you think about that?
I'll tell you what, if they would lay a $100 bill on the dresser, maybe I'd feel some satisfaction from that. But just...
Oh! Boy, I'll tell you. Hey, she's getting pretty lewd, isn't she? Wait, I may have to bounce her buns out of here.
Please.
I'll tell you something. Let me tell you something, Kathie. I'm also tired how men always come out on the short end of the stick.
You said it, not me.
No, I'm telling you, they always are. For example, in divorces, women get everything, don't they? I say that's got to change. In divorce, how many times have you seen, like in Johnny Carson's divorce, for example, he worked for 30 years to become a millionaire. Some God knows who marries him. They get a divorce, they give her everything. Is that fair? No! Every time, I'm saying
if she worked, she deserved it. If she shared in the relationship.
Oh, God. Listen, in Hollywood it happens. happens all the time. Some bimbo comes along and
You're talking about Hollywood. Let's talk about real life. Let's talk about real people.
In everyday life.
Every
in everyday life, women will a lot of times will try to latch themselves on to a successful man, and this guy has worked with blood and sweat and tears.
That's hard work to latch on to a successful man, Wally.
Wait a minute, bimbo. Wait a minute. I'm talking now. What I'm saying is, there are men who work all their lives through blood and sweat and tears to amass...
Carrying a briefcase?
To amass a fortune. Then some little bimbo comes prancing along. She marries him for 2 or 3 years, gets a divorce, and gets everything. And I say that's not fair.
You said she married him. Now, didn't he have anything to say about it? If he was so successful, didn't he agree to the marriage?
Why should she be able to get everything or the majority of the money that he earned before she even knew him, when she should only be able to be entitled to what he earned while they were together, right? That's right. That's the right way. But that's not the way it's being done. Right now, the woman gets the house, the woman gets the children, the woman gets the car, and the husband has to wind up sleeping with some wino down on Skid Row.
That's probably why he got in that situation in the first place.
Well,
he was sleeping with somebody else, and she caught him, and then she had to go ahead and file for a divorce.
I say women like you in the feminist movement would love, love, love if you could turn all of us men into slithering little wimps who would be at your beck and call. Don't you think so?
Yeah. Not all, Wally.
You would like that, wouldn't you?
Not all. Just the ones who are abusive to women. And I think you fall into that category.
Oh! Never abusive to real women. I'm only abusive to bimbos. I stand up to people like Kathie for our rights, and I have to do that, don't I? Okay, let's go to the audience. Come on up. Okay, go ahead.
Why do you think you can get all the money all the time? Why do you think you can get everything that we worked hard for, then you go and sleep around with someone else, and then you take everything we make?
Yeah!
Why?
How do you answer that?
Honey, let me tell you something.
Don't call him honey.
He's a sweetheart. He needs to know this. He needs to know this.
Thank you, Jack.
You're really too young to even be thinking about marriage anyway, and I'm sure you're going to... I hope... I hope that by the time...
What'd you say?
First of all, with that kind of language, I doubt that he'll be extremely successful.
Oh, I'm sure.
By the time he's able to build a fortune, there'll be some nice young woman looking for him. And I think that most successful women should have a couple of things that they need to look at in a man. First of all, he should have a very fat wallet. And second of all, he should have a bad heart. And what else is there? What else is there?
Let me tell you what I think about your argument and what I think about your movement. You are out of here.